Forward by Dr. Evelyn Reed, Curator of Digital Collections, Library of Congress. We have always been collectors of knowledge, from the Great Library of Alexandria to Diderot's Encyclopedia. The human impulse to gather, organize, and share understanding is a cornerstone of civilization. It is how we build upon the past, navigate the present, and imagine the future. For centuries, this monumental task was reserved for institutions, wealthy patrons, and teams of dedicated scholars. The resulting volumes were static, finite, and often exclusionary. They were artifacts of knowledge, locked away and difficult to update. Today, we stand at an extraordinary inflection point. The digital age has democratized the tools of knowledge curation. What was once a lifetime's work for a team can now be a passionate project for an individual or a community. The Cyclopedia is no longer a dusty set of books on a shelf. It is a living, breathing, and dynamic entity, a wiki for a niche hobby, a digital archive for a local community's history, a structured database for a research project, or a personal knowledge management system. This book, the modern Cyclopedia, arrives at the perfect time. It recognizes that the value is no longer merely in having access to information. We have that in abundance. The new imperative is to create context, curation, and connection. It is about building a coherent universe of knowledge from the chaos of data. Author's name has crafted more than just a manual. This is a workshop. It guides you through the profound journey of defining your domain, structuring your thoughts, choosing your tools, and executing your vision. It combines the timeless principles of information science with the agile, practical tools of the digital present. Whether you are an academic, a hobbyist, a community organizer, or simply someone with a passion for a subject too important not to be documented, this book is your invitation to participate in that great human tradition. You are about to become a curator, an architect, and a scribe for the knowledge you care about most. Prepare to build warmly. Dr. Evelyn Reed. Introduction: Why build a cyclopedia in the digital age? In an era where a Google search returns billions of results in half a second, the idea of building your own encyclopedia might seem quaint, if not entirely redundant. Why would anyone bother? The answer is simple: depth over breadth, context over clutter, curation over algorithm. The internet is a vast ocean of information, but it is often a mile wide and an inch deep. It excels at providing a quick fact but struggles to deliver a coherent, structured, and unbiased understanding of a complex subject. Algorithms show us what is popular or profitable, not necessarily what is true or important. Building your own cyclopedia is an act of defiance against the superficiality. It is a deep dive. It is your opportunity to fill a gap, to create a definitive resource on a topic that is overlooked, poorly covered, or fragmented across the web. Impose order, to structure knowledge in a logical way that makes sense for your specific subject, creating relationships and hierarchies that search engines cannot create. A legacy, to build a lasting, updatable resource for your community, students, family, or future self. Truly understand, there is no better way to learn a subject than to try to organize and explain it for others. The act of building is the act of mastering. This book is not about recreating Wikipedia. It's about creating something more focused, more personal, and more purpose-built. Your cyclopedia could be a public resource for vintage camera enthusiasts, a private knowledge base for your world-building novel, or a company-wide wiki for institutional processes. The digital age hasn't made cyclopedias obsolete, it has finally given us the tools to build them properly. Let's begin. How to use this workshop. This book is designed as a hands-on workshop, not a passive read. You will leave with a functional, growing cyclopedia, not just theoretical knowledge. One read and do. Each chapter introduces concepts and immediately follows them with a practical workshop activity. The goal is to apply what you've learned immediately. 2. Sequential progress. The book is structured in 4 parts, mirroring the natural progression of a project: plan, tool, build, and launch. It is highly recommended you follow the chapters in order. 3. Your pace, your project. You can complete this workshop in a focused week or over several months. The activities are designed to be modular. Work at the pace that suits you and your project's complexity. 4. Embrace iteration. Your first draft of anything, your taxonomy, your entry template, your writing will not be your last. The workshop activities are designed to be revisited and refined as your project evolves. 5. The companion materials. For the best experience, Download the companion worksheets, templates, and checklists. They provide a structured framework for completing each activity. You will get out of this book what you put into it. Engage with the activities, and you will have a real, living project by the end. Pre-workshop checklist, tools and mindset. Before you dive into Chapter 1, let's get prepared. Success in a project like this is part tool set, part mindset. Tools, choose one for now, we'll explore options in depth later. A note-taking app, for capturing ideas, outlines, and drafts, e.g., Notion, Evernote, OneNote, or even a physical notebook. A mind mapping tool, highly recommended for planning, e.g., MindMeister, Miro, Xmind, or a whiteboard. A word processor, e.g., Google Docs, Microsoft Word. A platform for your Cyclopedia, to be decided in Chapter 4. For now, just know that you have choices. Don't feel you need to lock anything in yet. Mindset, the 3 C's. Curiosity, you are starting a journey of discovery. Embrace the questions you can't yet answer. Commitment, this is a marathon, not a sprint. A cyclopedia grows over time. Commit to the process. Courage, you do not need to be the world's leading expert to start. You become the expert by building. Have the courage to begin before you feel ready. You are now prepared. Turn the page to begin. Part I, laying the foundation. Part I, laying the foundation. Chapter 1, the Cyclopedia reimage. In this chapter moves from the why to the what. We will explore the rich history of the encyclopedia to understand its core principles, which remain vital even as our tools have evolved. Then, we will immediately apply this understanding to the most critical step of your project, defining its fundamental purpose. 11. What is a cyclopedia? From ancient tomes to modern wikis, the word cyclopedia, or encyclopedia, comes from the Greek enkyklaios paideia, meaning general education. It represents a bold ambition, to compile all important knowledge within a single work or connected system. The ancient dream, for millennia, scholars have attempted this. Pliny the Elder's Naturalis Historia, c. 77–79 AD, was a 37-volume attempt to document all ancient knowledge of the natural world. These early works were monumental achievements, but they were static, limited by a single author's perspective, and incredibly difficult to reproduce. The Enlightenment ideal, the 18th century saw the rise of the modern encyclopedia, epitomized by Denis Diderot's Encyclopédie. Its goal was not just to collect knowledge, but to systematize and disseminate it to promote rational thought and social change. It introduced key concepts we still use: alphabetical order, cross-references, and contributions from multiple experts. The modern digital reality, the printed encyclopedia, is now largely a relic. Its limitations, static information, physical size, high cost, were solved by digital technology. The wiki, pioneered by platforms like Wikipedia, is the natural evolution of the encyclopedia ideal. It is dynamic, collaborative, and infinite. So, what is a cyclopedia today? It is any structured, navigable, and purposeful collection of knowledge on a defined subject. It can be public or private, vast or niche, text-based or multimedia rich. It is a living system, not a frozen book. 12. Defining your why, purpose, audience, and vision. Before you write a single word or create a single database field, you must answer 3 foundational questions. The answers will guide every decision you make. 1. Purpose, the why. What specific problem does your cyclopedia solve? Is it to preserve a fading history or a specialized skill? Is it to educate newcomers about a complex topic? Is it to organize your own research and thoughts, a second brain? Is it to build a community around a shared interest? Example: the purpose of the Vintage Camera Cyclopedia is to be the definitive resource for identifying, repairing, and appreciating film cameras from 1950 to 1992. Audience, the who are you building this for? Are they experts like yourself, who need deep, technical details? Are they beginners, who need clear, jargon-free explanations? Is it for a private group, e.g., your company, your family? Is it just for you? Example: the audience for the Vintage Camera Cyclopedia is hobbyist collectors and photographers who have basic knowledge but want to deepen their technical understanding and practical repair skills. 3. Vision, the what. What will this look and feel like when it's successful? How comprehensive will it be? 100 entries, 10,000. What will the experience of using it be like? Quick reference. Deep reading. What tone will it have? Authoritative and formal? Friendly and conversational. Example, the Vision is a ad-free, community-supported site with every major camera model documented, featuring high-quality photos, scanned manuals, and active forums for discussion. Your answers become the compass for your entire Project 13 workshop. Activity 1, draft your project charter and vision statement. Objective, to create a one-page document that defines the core identity of your Cyclopedia project. Instructions: 1. Create a new document titled Your Project Name Project Charter. 2. Answer the following questions in clear, concise statements. Project title: what is your Cyclopedia called? 1 sentence pitch: a platform that helps audience achieve purpose. 2 to 3 sentences. Elaborate on your why. Target audience: describe your primary user in detail. What do they know? What do they need? Core features/content: list 3 to 5 must-have types of content, e.g., detailed entry pages, image galleries, a glossary, a timeline, success metrics. How will you know you've succeeded? E.g., 100 completed entries, 50 active community members. I can find any research note in under 10 seconds. Tone and style: describe the voice of your writing, e.g., professional, witty, academic, inviting. 3. Write a vision statement. Summarize the above into a single, powerful paragraph. This is your North Star. Print it out and keep it visible. Example charter snippet. Title: The Analog Photographer's Field Guide. Pitch: a wiki that helps film photography enthusiasts identify, use, and repair vintage camera gear. Purpose: to preserve the knowledge of camera repair that is being lost as technicians retire, and to create a central, trusted resource for a fragmented community audience, hobbyists who are comfortable with basic photography but lack the technical confidence to open up a camera body. Vision statement: to become the most comprehensive and reliable free resource for vintage camera information online, known for its clear, step-by-step repair guides and vibrant, supportive community. 14 case studies: Wikipedia, Stanford Encyclopedia of Philosophy, and niche fandom wikis. Let's analyze 3 successful modern cyclopedias to see these principles in action. Wikipedia, the ultimate example of broad scope and mass collaboration. Purpose: to compile the sum of all human knowledge. Audience: everyone on the planet with internet access. Key takeaway: its success is built on a powerful, granular rule set, neutral point of view, verifiability, no original research, and a platform that makes contribution easy for your project. Consider, what are your core rules? Stanford Encyclopedia of Philosophy, SEP, the gold standard for scholarly depth and curate expertise. Purpose: to provide a dynamic, peer-reviewed reference work for academia. Audience: university students and scholars. Key takeaway: it prioritizes quality and authority over speed and quantity. Articles are written by invited experts and undergo rigorous editorial review. It proves that a closed, expert-driven model can thrive in an open-world niche fandom wiki, e.g., Marvel Cinematic Universe wiki. A perfect example of passion-driven, deep focus. Purpose: to document every single detail of a specific fictional universe. Audience: dedicated fans of that universe. Key takeaway: it shows the power of a highly structured taxonomy, characters, events, objects, locations, applied to a narrow domain. The community is motivated by love for the subject, not financial gain. By studying these, you can decide which model or which hybrid of them best fits your own why. Chapter 2, Scoping your universe. A well-defined scope is the force field that will protect your project from chaos. It transforms an overwhelming, infinite topic into a manageable and buildable project. This chapter is about drawing the map of your knowledge domain so you know exactly what territory you will cover. 21 Broad vs Deep. Choosing the scope of your knowledge domain. The first strategic decision is the shape of your coverage. Imagine your topic as a body of knowledge. Do you want to map the entire ocean or dive to the bottom of a specific trench? The broad approach, the pond. This aims for wide, comprehensive coverage of a large field with less detail on each specific part. The goal is to be a first stop for general information. Example, the Encyclopedia of World History. It would cover all eras and regions, but the entry on the Roman Empire might be a high-level overview prose, appeals to a wider audience, great for discovery and exploration. Cons, requires immense work to maintain, can feel superficial, competes with Wikipedia. The deep approach, the puddle. This focuses on a narrow, niche topic but covers it with extreme depth and detail. The goal is to be the undisputed, definitive resource on that specific thing. Example, the Encyclopedia of Bronze Age Aegean pottery. It would cover nothing else, but would include intricate details on styles, techniques, archaeological finds, and makers' prose. Easier to achieve completeness, attracts a dedicated audience, establishes you as an authority. Cons, audience is inherently smaller, can be overly technical for general readers. The hybrid approach, the pond with deep puddles. This is often the most effective strategy. You define a broad boundary for your project but identify specific areas within it that will receive deep treatment. Example, the vintage camera Cyclopedia, broad, with deep dive sections on legendary models like the Nikon F2 or Leica M3, deep, your choice, for your first project. Leaning towards deep or hybrid is highly recommended. It's far more rewarding to completely own a small topic than to make a shallow scratch on a large one. 22 Identifying core themes, topics, and entries with your broad vs deep strategy in mind. It's time to brainstorm the actual content. Think in layers. 1. Core themes, the pillars. These are the 3 to 5 major categories that hold your entire cyclopedia up. They are the highest level of your taxonomy for vintage cameras, lenses, film, techniques, people. 2 Topics, the chapters break each theme down into smaller, logical groupings under cameras, 35mm SLRs, medium format TLRs, rangefinders, instant cameras. Under techniques, developing, printing, composition, lighting. 3 Entries, the pages. These are the individual articles that will make up the bulk of your cyclopedia. They are the specific nouns, concepts, and verbs within your topics. Under 35mm SLRs, Nikon F2, Canon AE1, Pentax K1000. Under developing, the zone system, push processing, stand development. Under people, Ansel Adams, Henri Cartier-Bresson, Vivian Mayer. A great way to discover entries is to ask questions. What would a user want to look up? What are the fundamental components, key figures, essential techniques, and important events related to my topic? 23 Workshop Activity 2, create a mind map and a starter list of 50 entries. Objective, to visually brainstorm the structure of your cyclopedia and generate a foundational list of content to create instructions. Part A, the mind map. 1. Using a whiteboard, paper, or digital tool, like MindMeister or Miro, write your project's main topic in the center. 2. Create 3 to 5 branches from the center. These are your core themes. 3. From each theme branch create sub-branches. These are your topics. 4. From each topic branch, create as many leaves as you can. These are your potential entries. 5. Don't censor yourself. Brainstorm wildly. You can always remove ideas later. Instructions. Part B, the list of 51. Review your mind map. Your goal is to generate a list of 50 specific entries you would want to include. 2. Try to get entries from across your different themes. This ensures you're thinking about the breadth of your project. 3. For each entry, note which theme and topic it falls under. 4. Crucially, mark 5 to 10 of these entries as deep dives, the ones that will receive the most detailed, comprehensive treatment. Example snippet for vintage cameras. 1. Nikon F2, theme, cameras, topic, 35mm SLRs, deep dive. 2. Zone system, theme, techniques, topic, developing, deep dive. 3. Kodak Portra 400, theme, film, topic, color negative. 4. Henri Cartier-Bresson, theme, people, topic, photographers. 5. Bokeh, theme, lenses, topic, optical characteristics, and so on until you hit 50. This list is your first concrete backlog of work. It makes the project feel immediate and achievable. 24. Avoiding scope creep. Setting realistic boundaries. Scope creep is the silent killer of passion projects. It's the tendency for a project's scope to slowly expand until it becomes unmanageable and is abandoned. You must defend your boundaries. The Not Now list. Create a dedicated document or section in your charter for good ideas that are out of scope. This is a psychological trick. it acknowledges the idea's value without letting it derail your current plan. That's a great idea for version 20. Refer to your charter. When a new idea emerges, ruthlessly compare it to your purpose, audience, and vision from chapter 1. Does it align? If not, it goes on the not now list. Define hard limits. Be explicit about what your cyclopedia is not. Example, this resource covers analog film photography only. Digital camera reviews are out of scope. We cover photographers from 1920 to 1980. Contemporary artists are out of scope. Embrace minimum viable product, MVP. Your goal is not to launch with 500 perfect entries, it's to launch with a core set of 20 to 30 excellent entries that perfectly demonstrate your vision. You can always add more later. Your scope is your promise to yourself to finish. Guard it fiercely. Chapter 3, Architectural Blueprints. If the previous chapter was about drawing the map of your knowledge domain, this chapter is about building the roads, signs, and infrastructure that will allow people to navigate it. A cyclopedia without a strong structure is just a disorganized pile of notes. Here, we design the framework that turns information into knowledge. 31. Information Architecture, Structuring Knowledge. 4. Navigation. Information architecture, IA, is the art and science of organizing and labeling content to support findability and usability for your cyclopedia. It's about creating a system where a user can intuitively find what they need without getting lost. Think of it like designing a library. You wouldn't just throw books on shelves randomly. You use a classification system, Dewey Decimal/LC, a logical, hierarchical structure for the book's. Clear signage, sections for fiction, history, science. A card catalog. Search multiple ways to find a book by title, author, or subject. Your cyclopedia needs the same. A user should be able to 1. Browse logically through categories. 2. Search for a specific term. 3. Discover related content effortlessly. Poor IA results in the "where did I see that" problem. Good IA makes the content feel intelligent and cohesive. 32. Designing a hierarchical taxonomy, categories, tags, and relationships. Your taxonomy is the specific set of rules you use to classify your entries. It's your library's classification system. We use 3 primary tools: categories, the shelves. These are broad, hierarchical, and exclusive. An entry should belong to only 1, or maybe 2, primary categories. They create the main navigation menu of your cyclopedia function. They answer, what type of thing is this? Example, in our camera cyclopedia, cameras is a top-level category. Under it, you have subcategories like 35mm SLRs and medium format TLRs. A Nikon F2 camera would live in cameras 35mm SLRs. This is its primary home tags. The card catalog subjects. These are specific, non-hierarchical, and multiple. An entry can have many tags. They cut across your category structure to create alternative paths to content function. They answer, what is this thing about, or what attributes does it have? Example, the Nikon F2 entry would have tags like Nikon, mechanical, professional, 1970s. You could then click on the mechanical tag to see all other mechanical cameras, regardless of their format or brand relationships. The see also recommendations. These are explicit, manual links between related entries. They are the hypertext web that makes a digital cyclopedia powerful function. They answer, what else is connected to this? Example, on the Nikon F2 page, you could have a related lenses section that links to entries for the Nikkor 50mm f/14 and Nikkor 105mm f/25. On the zone system page, you would have a key photographers section linking to Ansel Adams 33 workshop. Activity 3, build your taxonomy and define entry templates. Objective, to create the formal structure for your cyclopedia by defining its categories and a standard template for all entries. Instructions, Part A, define your taxonomy. 1. Look at the mind map and list of 50 from Activity 2. 2. Formalize your core themes into top-level categories. Limit yourself to 3 to 7. 3. Break each category down into subcategories where it makes sense. 4. Create a list of tags you anticipate using. Think about people, brands, manufacturers, authors, artists, concepts, techniques, eras, styles, movements, attributes, mechanical, electronic, beginner-friendly, professional. 5. Document this structure in a table. This is your official taxonomy guide. Example snippet. Category subcategory example tags cameras 35mm SLRs Nikon, Canon, mechanical, 1970s medium format TLRs Yashica, Rolei, twin lens lenses prime lenses Nikkor, 50mm, portrait, wide-angle zoom lenses vintage, push-pull, macro techniques developing zone system, stand development, chemicals composition rule of thirds, lead Englands, negative space instructions, Part B, create an entry. Template 1A template ensures consistency, which is key for professionalism and usability. 2 In a new document, design a template for a standard entry. It should include sections for title, name of the entry summary/lead, a 1 to 2 sentence definition or overview table of contents. For longer entries, body content, headers for standard information, e.g., history, specifications, how to use, common issues, metadata, designated spots for category, tags, related entries, sources/references. 3 You may create 2 to 3 slightly different templates for different types of entries, e.g., a person template vs a camera model template, example template for a camera model name brief summary. The Nikon F2 was a professional-grade 35mm SLR camera produced between 1971 and 1980, renowned for its all-mechanical reliability and modular design. Table of contents, overview, history, specifications, how to use, common issues and maintenance, gallery, references and further. Reading overview history specifications, lens mount, Nikon F bayonet, shutter, metering, category, cameras 35mm SLRs tags, Nikon, professional, mechanical, 1970s related entries, Nikkor lenses, Nikon F photomic finder, mechanical camera repair. 34 The cross-reference web, planning internal links. The final, magical step is to weave your entries together into a web. This is what transforms a static reference into a dynamic knowledge base that users can get lost in for hours. The wiki method. The most powerful way to do this is by using double bracket internal linking syntax. As you write an entry, you simply surround any key concept that has its own entry with brackets. This automatically creates a link. Strategic linking. Don't just link the first instance of a word. Be strategic. Link to prerequisites, e.g., link aperture priority mode to the main aperture entry, link to deeper dives, e.g., in a camera overview, link to a specific film loading technique page. Link to related concepts, e.g., on a lens page, link to a portrait photography technique page. This network of links creates a self-guiding educational experience. A user can start on a simple entry and, through following links, embark on a journey of discovery that you have carefully curated. It makes your cyclopedia feel alive. Part 2, the Workshop Toolkit. Chapter 4, Choosing your platform. The platform you choose is the engine of your cyclopedia. It will determine how you create, organize, and share your knowledge. There is no single best tool, only the best tool for your specific project based on the charter and scope you defined in Part I. This chapter breaks down the options to help you make an informed choice. 41 The tool spectrum. From simple documents to complex databases, your options exist on a spectrum, balancing ease of use with power and flexibility. Simple and familiar. The document approach tools like Google Docs or Microsoft Word. Easy to start, but they lack dedicated features for organization, navigation, and nonlinear linking. They quickly become unmanageable for anything beyond a tiny project. Structured and powerful. The database approach tools like Airtable or dedicated SQL databases incredibly powerful for sorting and filtering structured data, but they have a steep learning curve and are often poor for writing long-form prose. The Goldilocks zone. Wiki and notebook tools. This is where most modern cyclopedia projects will land. These tools, like Notion, wikis, etc., are designed specifically to blend structured database-like features with flexible writing spaces, making them ideal for this purpose. We will focus on the 3 most effective categories in this zone. 42 Option 1, the WikiWay, MediaWiki, Fandom, TikiWiki. This is the classic, purpose-built software for encyclopedias. MediaWiki, the open-source engine that powers Wikipedia Prose, the most powerful and feature-complete wiki software, unbeatable for handling massive amounts of content and users granular control over everything, endless plugins and customizations, free and self-hosted. Cons: steepest learning curve, requires technical comfort to set up and maintain. Web hosting, updates, the editing syntax can be clunky for beginners, ideal for large-scale, public, collaborative projects where you want total control and don't mind technical administration. Fandom, formerly Wikia Pros, extremely easy to start, free hosting, built-in audience of millions of fans, handles all the technical stuff for you. Cons: you don't own the platform, Fandom does. The site will be covered in ads and fandom branding, limited control over design and functionality, ideal for fan-based projects where community and ease of start are the top priorities, and ownership is not a concern. Tiki Wiki CMS Groupware, pros: a powerful all-in-one platform that includes wiki, forums, blogs, and more in a single package. Very strong feature set. Cons: can feel bloated and complex if you only need the wiki features, ideal for projects that want to be a full-featured community website, not just a knowledge base. 43. Option 2, the notebook powerhouse, Notion, Coda. These modern tools combine the flexibility of a document with the structure of a database. Notion, pros: incredibly intuitive and visually appealing. The database feature is revolutionary for organizing entries with properties, like tags, categories, status, excellent for solo creators and small teams. Free plan is very generous. Cons: native public sharing can be clumsy compared to a wiki. It feels more like a private notebook than a public website. Advanced formatting options are limited, ideal for personal knowledge management, private team wikis, and projects where a clean, modern, and highly organized internal structure is the top priority. Coda, pros: similar to Notion but with stronger capabilities for building interactive tools and apps within your docs, like powerful buttons and canvas views, deeper formula integration. Cons: has a slightly steeper learning curve than Notion, can be overkill for a straightforward wiki, ideal for projects that need their Cyclopedia to do things, not just display information, e.g., interactive checklists, integrated calculators. 44. Option 3, the standalone creator, Scrivener, Adobe InDesign. These are tools for creating a fixed, output-oriented document, like an ebook or PDF. Scrivener, pros: designed for writing and structuring long, complex documents. The binder sidebar is perfect for organizing hundreds of entries. Robust compilation features to export to EPUB, PDF, etc. Excellent for research and writing phases. Cons: not a web-native tool, creates static outputs, not a living, linkable website. Collaboration is difficult, ideal for creating a cyclopedia as a book or ebook for publication or personal use, not ideal for a dynamic online resource. Adobe InDesign, pros: the industry standard for professional layout and typography, unmatched control over the final printed /PDF look. Cons: extremely high cost and learning curve, overkill for most digital projects as static as Scrivener, ideal for creating a beautiful, print-ready art book or high-end PDF based on your Cyclopedia content. 45. Workshop activity 4, select and set up your chosen platform. Objective: to make a final platform decision and perform the basic setup to create your first entry. Instructions: 1. Evaluate against your charter. Reread your project charter from Activity 1. Ask these questions: is it public or private? Public leans Wiki, private leans Notion/Coda. Is it collaborative? Wikis and Notion/Coda are strong here. Do I need a website or a document? Website leans Wiki, document leans Scrivener. What is my technical comfort level? High leans MediaWiki, low leans Fandom/Notion. To make your choice, based on your answers, select one platform from the options above. Recommendation for first-timers: start with Notion for its unparalleled ease and flexibility. It allows you to focus on creating content rather than managing software. 3. Perform basic setup. If you chose a wiki, e.g., MediaWiki on a host like Reclaim Hosting, complete the installation, create the main page, configure basic settings. If you chose Notion/Coda, create a new page for your Cyclopedia. Inside it, create a database, select table or board. This database will hold all your entries. If you chose Scrivener, Create a new project. Set up your binder folders to mirror the categories from your taxonomy. 4. Create your first entry, using the template you designed in Activity 3, create your very first entry in your new platform in a wiki, create a new page and start writing using the wiki markup in Notion/Coda, create a new page inside your database. Use the database properties, columns, for your category, tags, and status in Scrivener. Create a new document in the appropriate binder folder. 5. Test a link. In your first entry, find a key concept and create an internal link to a second entry. Even if that second entry doesn't exist yet, get a feel for how the linking works. Congratulations! Your Cyclopedia is no longer an idea, it is a real, living project. You have laid the foundation and built the workshop. Now, it's time to start constructing. Chapter 5. The Art of the Entry. The entry is the fundamental unit of your Cyclopedia. It is where your careful planning meets execution. A well-crafted entry is a miniature masterpiece of explanation, combining clarity, structure, and evidence to illuminate a single topic. This chapter is your guide to writing entries that are not only informative but also a pleasure to read. 51. Crafting the perfect entry. Structure and style guide. An effective entry follows a predictable, logical structure that helps readers quickly find the information they need. This is where your template from Activity 3 comes to life. The inverted pyramid model, borrowed from journalism. This means presenting the most important information first. 1. Title, clear, precise, and consistent, e.g., Nikon F2, not that great old Nikon camera. 2. Lead/summary, A1. To 2. Sentence definition or overview that answers the basic questions: what is it? Why is it significant? This is the first thing every reader will see. 3. Body, the detailed content, broken into sections with clear headings, e.g., history, specifications, usage notes, trivia. This allows users to scan and jump to what they need. 4. Metadata, the categorical and relational data, categories, tags, related links, references, that connects the entry to the larger web of knowledge. Style guide. Consistency in writing style makes your project feel professional and authoritative. Define these rules early: tone, formal, conversational, instructive. Refer back to your charter. Voice, first person plural, we will see. Third person neutral, the camera is. Second person instructional, you should load the film by. Formatting, how will you handle bold text, italics, code snippets, or special terminology? Tense, typically, descriptive entries are written in the present tense. The Nikon F2 is a camera, while historical notes use the past. It was introduced in 1971. 52. Writing with clarity, objectivity, and authority. Your goal is to be understood and trusted. Clarity, favor simple, direct sentences over complex, jargon-filled prose. Explain necessary technical terms when they first appear. Use the active voice. The user sets the aperture, more than the passive voice. The aperture is set by the user. Objectivity, present facts and well-sourced interpretations. Avoid unsupported opinion and hyperbole. Instead of "this is the most amazing camera ever made," write "the Nikon F2 is widely regarded by collectors for its durability and is a landmark camera in the history of 35mm photography." Authority, authority comes from demonstrated knowledge and precision. Use specific details and correct terminology. It is better to be precise and narrow. The Finder offers 100% coverage with a central microprism focusing screen, than vague and broad. The viewfinder is really good. 53. Incorporating multimedia, images, video, audio, and interactive elements. Text alone cannot convey everything. A modern cyclopedia is a multimedia experience. Images, purpose, to identify, illustrate, and instruct. Use case, photos of your subject from different angles, diagrams labeling parts, screenshots of interfaces, comparison shots, historical advertisements. Best practice, always use descriptive alt text for accessibility and SEO. Ensure you have the right to use the image. Use your own, Creative Commons, or public domain, video and audio. Purpose, to demonstrate processes and provide primary sources. Use case, a video showing a repair technique, a sound clip of a particular camera's shutter, an interview with an expert, A walkthrough of a software feature best practice, embed videos from reputable hosts, YouTube, Vimeo, rather than hosting them yourself. Provide a summary for those who cannot or do not wish to watch interactive elements. Purpose, to allow users to explore data themselves. Use case, interactive timelines, e.g., using NightLab tools, zoomable high-resolution images, embedded calculators, or quizzes, especially in educational cyclopedias. Best practice, use sparingly and only when they add significant value over static content. 54 Citation and sourcing, building credibility and trust. A citation is a promise to your reader, you can trust this information because it comes from here. It is the bedrock of a reputable reference work. Why cite? Credibility, it shows you've done your homework. Verifiability, it allows readers to check your facts and delve deeper. Anti-plagiarism, it gives proper credit to original creators. What to cite? Direct quotes, controversial or non-obvious facts, statistics, data, and specific claims. Paraphrased ideas from a specific source. How to cite? Choose a consistent citation style, Chicago, MLA, APA, or a simple hyperlink format. Use footnotes, endnotes, or a references section at the bottom of the entry. For online sources, include the author, title of page, site name, publication date, and URL. 55 Workshop Activity 5, write and format your first 3 core entries. Objective, to move from theory to practice by creating the foundational content for your cyclopedia, applying all the principles from this chapter. Instructions, 1. Select your entries, from your list of 50, choose 3 core entries. Ideally, pick one that is a deep dive and 2 that are more standard. Ensure they are related so you can practice creating links between them. Example, Nikon f2, deep dive, Nicker 50mm f/14, and Ansel Adams 2. Gather your materials. Before you write, open your template and gather all necessary information, images, and source links for each entry. 3. Draft the entries, one by one. Write each entry in your chosen platform. Focus on the lead. Spend extra time crafting a perfect summary sentence. Use your template. Faithfully follow the section headers you define. This is a test of your template. Note if anything is missing or clunky. Incorporate media. Add at least one relevant image to each entry. Write descriptive alt text for it. Add citations. For each factual claim, add a source in your chosen citation format. If it's general knowledge, you can note that for Weave the Web. As you write, actively create internal links between your 3 new entries and to any other entries on your list, even if they don't exist yet. On the Nikon f2 page, link to the Nicker 50mm f/14. On the Ansel Adams page, link to his famous cameras and the zone system. On the lens page, link back to the camera it mounts to. 5. Review and refine. Read each entry out loud. Is it clear? Is it structured logically? Do the links work? Is the tone consistent? Tweak until you are satisfied. Completion of this activity means you are no longer planning, you are building. You have created tangible value and are well on your way to a functional knowledge base. Chapter 6, Collaboration and Workflow. A cyclopedia can be a solitary labor of love, but it often grows richer and more sustainable through collaboration. This chapter is for the solo creator who may want to bring others on board in the future, and for teams starting together. We will design systems that ensure quality, consistency, and smooth teamwork, turning a potential chaos of contributions into a well-oiled knowledge-building machine. 61 Building a team. Roles and responsibilities. Researchers, writers, editors. Even if you are a team of 1, understanding these roles helps you structure your own work for teams. Clearly defining them prevents overlap and ensures coverage. The researcher, the digger of facts. This person is responsible for gathering accurate information, images, primary sources, and data. They provide the raw material. Their deliverable is a research packet or a collection of sourced notes. Key skills: curiosity, patience, discernment in evaluating sources, meticulous note-taking. The writer/author, the architect of narrative. This person takes the researched material and structures it into a clear, well-written entry following the project's style guide and template. They transform information into understanding. Key skills: clear writing, ability to synthesize information, adherence to style guides. The editor, the guardian of quality. This person reviews drafts for clarity, accuracy, tone, and consistency. They check facts, fix grammatical errors, ensure the template is followed, and verify that links and citations are correct. They are the final gatekeeper before publication. Key skills: attention to detail, deep knowledge of the style guide, tactful communication, a critical eye. The administrator/moderator, the keeper of the system. This person manages the platform, configures settings, handles user permissions, organizes categories and tags, and ensures the overall architectural integrity of the Cyclopedia in a community setting. They also moderate discussions. Key skills: technical comfort with the platform, organizational skills, fairness. One person can wear all these hats, but consciously switching between them, e.g., now I am putting on my editor hat, improves the quality of your work. 62. Establishing an editorial process, drafting, review, and publication. A clear, repeatable workflow prevents entries from getting lost, ensures everything is reviewed, and maintains a steady pace of publication. Think of it as an assembly line for knowledge. A simple and effective workflow can be visualized as a pipeline: drafting, review, revision, approval, publication. Here's how to implement it using status labels or tags. 1. Drafting. Status: draft. The writer creates the entry. It's incomplete, unformatted, or unverified. It is not yet visible to the public, if your platform allows you to hide drafts. 2. Review. Status: in review, the writer marks the entry as ready for an editor. The editor is notified, either manually or through the platform, and begins their review, adding comments and suggestions. 3. Revision. Status: in revision, the editor passes the entry back to the writer, who addresses the comments and makes the necessary changes. 4. Approval. Status: final review. The updated entry goes back to the editor for a final check for significant changes. This loop may repeat. 5. Publication. Status: published or live. The editor approves the entry and publishes it, making it live for the audience. The entry is now part of the main Cyclopedia. This process eliminates confusion about what state an entry is in and who is responsible for it. Next. 63. Workshop activity 6. Design a collaborative workflow in your platform. Objective: to implement a basic editorial workflow within your chosen platform, creating a system for tracking the progress of entries. Instructions: 1. Define your status properties. Based on the workflow above, decide on the key status labels you will use. For a solo creator, draft, in review, and published might be enough. For a team, you might need in revision and final review. To implement the status in your platform, in Notion/Coda, add a new status property, a select type, to your entries database. Add your status options: draft, in review, published, etc. You can then create different views of your database filtered by each status, e.g., a draft board view, in a wiki, e.g., MediaWiki. This often requires using templates. You can add a draft template to the top of unpublished pages or use the built-in draft namespace for works in progress. More advanced status tracking might use categories like category needs review in Google Docs. Use a naming convention, entry name, draft, or use the built-in suggesting mode for edits and a status table at the top of the document. 3. Create a editorial homepage. Create a central page that explains your workflow and style guide. This is the single source of truth for all collaborators. Include a link to your style guide, definitions of each status, instructions on how to request a review, a list of team members and their roles. 4. Process a test entry. Take one of the entries from Activity 5 and run it through your new workflow. Change its status from draft to in review. If you're solo, put it away for a day, then come back and put on your editor hat to review it. Change its status to in revision, make edits, and then finally mark it as published. 64. Tools for collaboration, Google Workspace, Trello, Slack. Your Cyclopedia platform is for the final content. These ancillary tools help manage the process of creating it. Google Workspace/Microsoft 365, essential for any team use case, for creating and collaboratively editing research documents, style guides, and planning spreadsheets before the content is ready to be formalized in the Cyclopedia. Benefit: real-time SEO editing and commenting is unmatched for early-stage collaboration. Trello/Asana/Jira, project management tools. Use case: Visualizing your editorial workflow, you can create a board with columns for backlog, drafting, in review, and published. Each entry is a card that moves across the board. Benefit: provides a high-level, at-a-glance view of the entire project's progress, which is great for team leads. Slack/Microsoft Teams, communication tools. Use case: quick, informal communication. Hey, I just assigned the zone system entry to you for review, or creating a channel dedicated to discussing complex editorial decisions. Benefit: keeps project-related chatter out of email and in a dedicated, searchable space. Crucially, it can integrate with other tools, e.g., a new Trello card can post a notification to Slack, even if you are a solo creator. Using a simple Trello board to manage your entry backlog and status can dramatically increase your productivity and sense of progress. Part 3, Construction and Polish. Chapter 7, Populating your world. The blueprint is complete, the tools are sharpened. Now, the real work begins, the joyful, sometimes daunting, process of filling your cyclopedia with life. This chapter is about moving from a handful of seed entries to a thriving, growing repository of knowledge. We'll focus on strategies for efficient research, consistent creation, and maintaining quality at scale. 71 Research methodologies. Efficient and effective information gathering. Effective research is not about reading everything, it's about finding the right information quickly and verifying its accuracy. Adopt a systematic approach to avoid rabbit holes. The funnel method: start broad and narrow down. One overview: read a Wikipedia article or a general blog post to get the basic facts and terminology. This helps you frame your questions. 2 Deep dive: use targeted searches to find primary sources, expert blogs, academic papers, official manuals, and dedicated forums. Search for specific phrases like Nikon F2 Service Manual or Zone System Ansel Adams Original. 3 Source triangulation: never rely on a single source. Verify facts across multiple reputable sources, e.g., a manufacturer's spec sheet, a trusted review site, a museum collection page. If sources conflict, note the discrepancy and investigate further. Organizing research: don't let your research become a disorganized mess. Use a consistent system, digital notebooks. Use a dedicated folder in Notion/OneNote/Evernote for each major entry, clipping web pages, saving quotes, and jotting notes. Citation Manager: for academic projects, tools like Zotero or Mendeley can automatically store and format your sources. The source field: get in the habit of pasting the URL of your source directly into your draft as you write a fact. You can format it into a proper citation later. This prevents the dreaded "where did I read that?" problem. 72 Beating blank page syndrome: batch processing and entry creation. Staring at an empty template can be paralyzing. The solution is to break the act of creation into distinct, manageable tasks and to work in batches. Batch processing: group similar tasks to stay in a focused mode and avoid constant context switching. Research batch: spend an afternoon just researching the next 10 entries on your list. Gather links and notes for all of them. Drafting batch: open your template and create all 10 new entry pages in your database. Fill in the metadata, title, categories, tags, for each one. Then, go through each one and write only the lead sentence. Body batch: pick one entry and focus solely on writing the history section for all your in-progress entries. Then switch to specifications. The good enough first draft: perfectionism is the enemy of progress. Your goal in the first draft is not excellence, but existence. Get the information out of your head and onto the page in a roughly correct order. You can always return to polish, refine, and beautify later. Remember, you cannot edit a blank page. 73 Workshop Activity 7, conduct a creation sprint to add 20 new entries. Objective: to build massive momentum and a significant portion of your core content by focusing on quantity and process over perfection. Instructions: 1 Pre-sprint preparation, 15 minutes. Review your list of 50 from Activity 2. Select 20 entries that are well defined and you have some knowledge of. Avoid the most complex deep dives for this sprint. Gather any basic research materials you already have for them to the sprint. Dedicate a 2 to 3 hour block. Phase 1, creation, 45 minutes. Create 20 new blank pages in your platform. Fill in only the title, category, and tags for every single one. Use your taxonomy. Phase 2, lead sentences, 30 minutes. Go down your list and write only the first summary sentence for each of the 20 entries. Phase 3, bulleted drafts, 45 minutes for each entry. Don't write prose, just brain dump every fact you know into the body of the document using bullet points. Don't worry about order or grammar, just get the facts down. Phase 4, rough order, 30 minutes for each entry. Take the bullet points and drag them into a logical order that matches your template headers, e.g., group all history-related bullets together. 3 post-sprint review. You now have 20 entries that are, perhaps, 20% complete, but they are no longer blank. This is a huge psychological win. Over the next days, you can gradually convert each bulleted list into proper paragraphs, add images, and create links between these new entries. 74 Maintaining consistency, using and refining your templates as your project grows. Consistency is what makes it feel professional and trustworthy. Your template